I'm hitting on just a couple because there have been many, many. And coming forward now, you can see we're going to do something a little different here. I'm going to bring Emily back up, and she's going to have what we're calling a success conversation with Executive Director Connie Lucas and Director John Chang. And she will be bringing us a special video also featuring Gayla and Barry Gordon. Now, this is a segment about storytelling, customer acquisition, and customer retention. And let me tell you about these leaders and these very experienced members of our family and what they're going to be able to share with us. John Chang, who's a director here in the United States, is a famous, and I'm about to say this wrong, a famous American automobile executive named Lee Iacocca called him the modern day Renaissance man. Now think about this. John is a multidisciplinary designer, inventor, and advertiser. For 18 years, John had operated as the Vice President of Marketing and New Products Development for Pilot Automotive Incorporated in California. He's been awarded with 14 U.S. patents. John is the recipient of many industry awards. If you know the business, 8 SEMA Best New Product Awards, 7 International Best New Product Awards, the prestigious Popular Mechanics Award, and Editor's Choice Award for his innovative designs and inventions. So this is a product guy, for sure, right? And his extensive marketing experience and innovative thinking together have successfully positioned thousands of new customers and trade products into the US, Canada, and Mexico marketplaces. After retiring from his corporate world in 2017, John shortly discovered how miraculously LifeWave patches helped his mid-90-year-old parents, and since then has brought many others the same relief he found for his family. So think about this. This guy is credentialed. He's had deep experience in a whole nother industry, and he decided to join LifeWave. It's always amazing to me the credibility and the quality and the experience of the individuals who look at this company, no matter their background, and they say, wait a second, this is awfully interesting. I need to know more. You know, gee, David Schmidt has 100 patents. Well, I've got 14. I want to meet him. So we attract, I believe, the best of the best. And that's something to always keep in mind because our story is so rich. Now, also going to be joining Emily is Connie Lucas. She's an executive director here in the United States. Connie's owned 3 successful debt-free businesses in Scottsdale, Arizona for 30 years and counting with her husband Barry and their 2 amazing adult daughters. She's an AADP certified health coach, which means she's all about drug-free solutions, who taught corporate wellness for over a decade. With 16 years of network marketing experience, her greatest joy is helping those who want to learn and grow into their fullest potential. She brings this level of experience to coaching and developing her team around her. So let's bring once again Emily back out to the stage along with Connie and John. Come on out. Here we go.
Well, hello everybody. Are you so excited to hear from these guys? Woohoo! Talk about a resume for both of you guys. So many great pieces of experience, so much influence, and we're honored to have you here with us today.
We're honored to be here.
Thanks. Well, you guys know that today when we were talking with Lori, she really helped us understand that customers are king, right? And how important it is that we have an amazing customer experience, customer journey. But these 2 individuals here, as you know, are some of our best at bringing customers into the business and retaining those customers. And we're pretty fortunate today to be able to talk with each of you about some of their experience and how they build relationships with customers. And so we have some questions prepared, and I'm going to be asking each of you some of these questions, and I know everyone's going to be ready to write down some notes because, like I said, you guys are the best. You ready?
Ready.
Sure.
All right. Okay, well, John, I actually want to start with you. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, I better be ready.
Awesome. Well, again, I know that you both have different approaches to how you work with customers, how you find customers, and how you really build those relationships. And Connie, you're going to talk a little bit more about this in your presentation today, too.
Absolutely.
So I'll start with you, John. Tell us a little bit about how you identify customers. Where do you meet people, and how do you really connect with those that you come in contact with?
You know, amazingly enough, all of my customers say, God, 90+% of my customers are all referrals. Seriously. I learned a lot about these patches, but I'm not one like a lot of distributors out here go out and recruit and do everything. You know, I only do this part-time. Okay? As Jim was saying, you know, I'm an inventor. I'm still contracted with a lot of invention that I'm working on. I'm on your heels, David. Yeah. Maybe on his footprints from yesterday. But anyway, literally, I really reach out to try to help one person, as Onyx was saying. You just get interested in what I can do with that person. Everybody's different. Everybody has different needs. And so literally, that's how I started. I just started with the immediate family, and it broke out of the family. And they say, hey, talk to John. He knows something about these patches and so on. And literally, it just organically grew and compound growth. Okay. And if there was any secret, it's just really in the following up and the caring for people, because we have something dynamic here that we can help the world with. And if you know that, and again, you don't have to be a doctor, I was not, but realizing the power that we have in our hands is immense. I have a lot of downline who do take advantage of the business opportunity here. And because of my 20+ years in marketing, I was able to help them grow their business. And that's how my business grew, okay? It's just really helping one at a time and to achieve their goals. Some people with health and some people with business. So that's amazing. And I learned a few years ago that somebody came to me and they were interested in the patches, but they didn't have any money. And you know what? LifeWave offers them opportunities. And say, you know what? You don't need any money to start with it. Here, take the website. Learn about this. Call me. I can answer your questions. They're one of my biggest, more prolific downline right now. That's the LifeWave. I mean, you can help everybody. Thank you, David.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sure. You're right. Thank you, David. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, Connie, I know that you have lots of different ways that you can connect with people because of your business and so many different approaches. But once you've kind of started to build that rapport with someone and they've said, oh, yes, I love the product. I want to use it. After that's happened, how do you really introduce them into our community and help them to feel connected to the product and the people around it?
You know, when it's a distributor, it's easy because you just connect them into the team, right? Most teams have a method of operation, a way they work. But for customers, it's a little different. And one of the biggest and most important things is, of course, what they want. So the biggest piece of it is what happens after the enrollment. I mean, I don't want to say the enrollment's easy, but the hard part is keeping them in. Keeping them on, keeping them moving along, and educating them because they're not connected to the business. It's not at their forefront. So one of the first things I do is I ask them when they come in, how can I support you? My intention is not to sell you something. My intention is that you achieve your desired result. And what does that look like for you? And so then I basically find out what would make sense for me to check in with you. I want to make sure that you're getting what you need. So does that every week? Is that once a month? You want to find out from them how often they want you to connect. And then the biggest thing is find out their preferred way to connect. So I tell my team, if you're going to send me an email, you have to send me a text and tell me you sent me an email. Because I don't do email. However, if my customer does email, if my distributor does email, that's how I connect with them. If they do Messenger, that's how I connect. If they do text message, we all know the best and most important and deepest conversations come from in person or phone calls. But everybody's busy, and maybe if you can just connect in, quick little text, how are you doing? You can find out a lot of stumbling blocks they're having, and then you can adjust, and that keeps them in.
I like that. So I'm just hearing that you're meeting them where they are and really listening to them.
Yes.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
John, do you follow a similar approach with how you connect with your customers after they've decided to try the products?
Yes, I do. I say that if you send me a text or an email, alert me with your carrier pigeon.
Say that again.
Alert me with your carrier pigeon.
A carrier
Carrier
pigeon.
pigeon.
Or a smoke signal, whatever.
No, there's so many social media and everything, and I gotta say, I have to confess, I don't have time to do all that, but I do check my emails, and all my downlines know that I do respond to them by email, and so I keep it that way.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's been working out very well for me. And I do, put aside time each week to do my following up with my distributors and leaders and my preferred customers and retail customers. So I do make time for that. That's very important.
I like what I'm hearing from both of you. It's all about having that consistent connection point in a way that works for them, so that it's not just, hey, here's the product, and you never speak to them again, right?
Yeah, you can solve a lot of problems if you will communicate. In a previous company, I had a distributor say to me one time, well, I don't want to call them because I'm afraid they'll cancel their auto ship. Okay? And I said, well, truly, if you don't call them, they will cancel their auto ship.
Right.
So the whole idea is these are where you find out their stumbling blocks to help keep them consistent. So I recently had a distributor who said, so-and-so, they stopped their auto ship. I said, well, do you know why? She goes, no. I said, well, why don't you ask? And so once she found out, she goes, oh, it's not that they're not unhappy, they just have too much product. Great. Okay, so let's find out, why do they have too much product? Do they have too much product because they're being inconsistent? And if they're inconsistent, maybe we can make suggestions like, do you brush your teeth twice a day? Put it by your toothbrush. Do you have a supplement or a morning routine? Put it there. Put it in your underwear drawer. You're going to change your underwear. You can remember to put it on. So we're giving them ideas of how to keep them consistent. And if they, I had a lot recently who ended up with a lot of product. We have a program that's very generous. And so I went back and talked to them about their desired result, and found out sometimes they weren't feeling what they wanted. Oh, but maybe there's another patch that would.
I like that. And I know that's really the intention of the sampling portion of the preferred customer program that's here in the United States, is to give that opportunity to start conversations. Give that opportunity to say, hey, maybe you're not getting the result exactly as you would like. Let's try adding this supplementary patch, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you tend to do that, John? How do you connect with your customers on that personal basis to ensure they're having a great result?
Absolutely. Since the X39, I do definitely start out with the X39. Then in my follow-up, it's like, how are you responding? And what do you need, basically, and just within the conversation. And people may say that, I have I experience migraine headaches now and then, and so on. And I would help them. I said, look, you might want to try the Eon patch for your headache and place it here and there. What I've done in the past is I took notes of a lot of effective protocols using these patches, and I was able to help them expand their benefits from different patches. Sleep, you're still having a little issue with sleep? Well, try the X39. And when you talk to them, you realize, I start to realize what they really need. And lately, a lot of my downlines or customers, they really need Nirvana. And trust me, Nirvana is great for them. They say, I'm just, I'm busy and I haven't, So, you know what? Try the Nirvana this month. And it's really fun that way, makes it fun for them. They can try it, and I tell them, look, everything is guaranteed. So if you try the Nirvana or try the LifeWave or try the energy patches, if you feel it's not for you, don't worry. You get your money back. So a lot of people do try the new patches after they've been introduced to X39, and they find it. A lot of them find that, oh, this is great, and then so they start ordering new patches, which really help them out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really is all about listening. That's what I'm hearing from the both of you. And I think a lot of times it can be a little scary, like you said, Connie. Someone's afraid if they reach out that someone might cancel, but I really think it's the exact opposite.
I do too.
When they feel connected to you as a person and connected to the company, it really deepens the relationship because it's a relationship business. So, Connie, I know this is something you spend a lot of time on in educating and deepening that relationship. What are some ideas you can share with the audience as to how you educate, aside from having to know every single thing about the products?
Oh my gosh. The tools. Use the tools. It was interesting. In my previous experience, I've been in network marketing for over 16 years now, and I went in and I'm a certified health coach, so I'm used to being the expert. And I think a lot of doctors run into this, and various people who are coaches, trainers. We're used to being the experts, so we go in and we start telling them everything. And I got my aha moment one time when one of my clients and very good friends came up to me. I'd been prospecting her for years, and I couldn't figure out why she wasn't interested. And she said, I'd really love to do what you do, but I could never know everything you know. And that was when I realized I was doing it all wrong. So I made myself a vow that I would come into this company and I would use the videos on the app, I would point to the tools, and I would show everybody exactly how to duplicate versus being the expert.
Absolutely. I think that's one thing I admire about both of you. You've been very successful in bringing customers into this business, helping them feel a part of the community, and sticking with the company. Retention numbers are amazing that show that. And I think it really does come down to really, like you said, using the tools. And pointing people there. I mean, we talked about that earlier, right? How tools are really, really important. You don't have to be the expert because you want to lead by example that everyone can do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know we're almost out of time. Are you guys enjoying hearing from these guys? Thank you. Well, luckily, you get to hear from each of them individually like Jim shared. But before we watch the next segment, which is unfortunately, Barry and Gayla were not able to join us today. We're going to be able to still hear from them. I can't wait for you to see their video. They're amazing. But before we do that, I'd like to hear from each of you, maybe starting with you, John. Why is working with customers one of your passions? Why is it so important to you? And what do you think is the most valuable thing you've learned from working with those that are customers first?
Well, as I said earlier, that after I retired from my corporate world, I realized what these patches can do and what it did to my parents. And it literally created a new passion, a calling that I submitted to. Because I realized we have something so powerful that we can help so many people. And it's completely different from my whole career, what I did. And so when I found out that I could help my parents, and then by referral I was able to help others, I mean, with people with some serious maladies, and I'm not a doctor, and it scared me. Of course, I reach out to my upline, Nikki and Julian, and say, hey, what do I do? You learn from your upline, your sponsors. And with their help, I was able to help someone. And this one particular lady, she sent me an email and thanked me for saving her life. Oh my God, how touching is that? So I took that same passion and extend that out to everyone that I meet and everyone that I talk to. You could walk down the street, 5 people approach you, 3 or 4 out of 5, they all need something that these patches can offer them. And so that's the way I look at the world. And when I talk to someone, it's how can I help? That's it.
That's beautiful, John. You're right. Actually being able to help people makes all the difference. Seeing that your results, sharing this beautiful product we have is changing people's lives. I love that.
Yes. That's
awesome.
why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same question to you, Connie.
You know, there's nothing more exciting than when somebody calls you up or you get that text message and they tell you they've gotten relief. They tell you they're feeling better. They tell you things. I mean, there's nothing more rewarding. But I will tag on to is I also learned not to get addicted to the results. Over the years, I learned that my job is to show them that there's something they don't know exists, see if they're open, and share the information. But that's really where my job ends until they make a decision. It's giving them enough information to make a decision that's best for them. And what I think is best for them doesn't necessarily mean that that is what's best. So I listen to them, and if they're not interested, I say, you know what, that's great. If anything ever changes, please call me.
I love that, Connie. It really keeps it open, right?
Keeps
to
it
develop
open,
the
it's not
relationship.
pushy, it's, you know, but it's their decision. They've got to want it.
Absolutely. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to these two today. Can we give them a big round of applause?
Thank you.
Thank you.